Okay, so I'm not quite used to running operations under these conditions. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to read kind of the first question of the prompt, answer to the best of my ability, then the next question, so on and so forth. Explain the major themes in the chapter section from Lewis Vaughn's Here and Now. What does he mean by externalist and internalist views of meaning? So, externalist views of meaning are godly, quote unquote, divine, outside of the self, alright? They are, for lack of better words, objective in nature. And so, just the easiest example to use is the biblical God. He is an external, he knows all, has a specific plan, there is a purpose, there is an objective right based around his morality. The internalists argue the opposite, that value is subjective and that meaning is subjective, that meaning is subjective, that you can choose what fulfills you, and therefore that puts meaning into your life. The example that a lot of internalists like to use is Sisyphus. Imagine him happy. So I'll kind of stick with that as my answer for that. The internalist is, I can be, as long as I am making choices for myself that give me meaning, I'm doing the right thing. And the externalist, as long as I'm living by choices that would make my higher being, my higher connection happy, then I'm doing the right thing. What are the core elements of Tolstoy's externalist views? So Tolstoy is a religious externalist, like hardcore religious. Believes that the only objective right thing is whatever is right in accordance with his God. What are the criticisms of this type of view from beginning Klimke? So I would say that their main criticisms would be that it kind of just passes the buck. It pushes the can down the road, as it were. Makes it somebody else's, makes the big answer somebody else's problem, makes it too neat and tied up in a bow, and it denies human dignity. So there is that. How does the externalist view contrast with the internalist view? So an externalist could look at the actions of someone and say, hey, what you're doing is pointless because it doesn't help anyone, it doesn't do anything, doesn't serve a greater purpose. And the internalist can say, no, this work is absolutely amazing because it serves me and my ends and my wants. So that's like one, example of where they would contrast in opinion. Alright, why are you setting up that bowling pin? Just one and knocking it down. What are you doing? Who are you serving by doing this? Just me. I'm making nothing better by doing this, and that's fine. I'm happy with it. Internal, external, kind of viewpoints there. Do I agree with something along the lines of Tolstoy? That's a really tough one. I think that there is an overarching idea behind that. That there's something bigger than us out there. I don't know if it's God or not. I know I've come pretty close to it. I know many soldiers have had religious experience and anti-religious experience, or a disillusionment of their religion during combat. And I have definitely had things that have questioned my beliefs happen while I was overseas. greater feeling when I connect with people in certain ways. So there is that. Like, I do believe that our higher cause is to relieve the suffering of humans. Like, as a whole, all of us together should rise up. I don't think that there's an objectively right God per se. I just believe that anything that relieves suffering is objectively right. So there's, yeah. Do I agree with some others? I do, actually. I think I have kind of an internalist, externalist view. So where I believe that it is our shared duty to uplift each other and rise above the suffering together, I also believe in the fact that that is volunteered, that in order for someone to truly get something out of it, they have to want to volunteer, they have to want to help people. And where that's something I strongly encourage and try to influence, I know it's not something I can force down people's throats. So I want everyone to be happy and successful to the best of my ability. And I respect people's decisions to partake in the betterment of humanity or not partake, or maybe partake in ways that I don't understand, that I don't see as making things better. I still respect their right to do that. As long as they're not hurting anybody, it's fine by me. Like, directly, threatening lives or whatever. Which arguments do you find persuasive? Explain your thinking. So, I am a bit of a rebellion, and truthfully, when I say I believe that there's a higher cause, I really believe it's the chaos. Like when we get past like the humanistic side of it, I think it's chaos. I think that it's the higher cause of everything, which means that there's a lot of meaning in the lack of meaning. That we need to be able to we need to give meaning to life, and that's kind of beautiful to me. The fact that I will only be remembered by those who remember me for as long as that can carry on. Is important. What can I do to leave a lasting impact in the world? Because it makes me think of individuals like Martin Luther King Jr. and Sergeant Audie Murphy and a lot of other, major leaders, Alexander the Great, Sun Tzu, like people who have been gone for centuries, but their work still carries like real weight in the world. Part of me wants to be amongst that list of people. Part of me is kind of tired. But I definitely believe in pushing for peace and humane treatment of my fellow humans. That's really important to me. Well, thank you for listening to my TED Talk tonight, Professor. I hope you